Karma Ling, a Buddhist Dharma center in the French Alps, has invited a group of spiritual leaders from indigenous peoples around the world to gather for 10 days. Elders, shamans, and medicine people from Asia, Africa, the Americas, and Australia will perform rituals for one another and share their common concerns. The gathering has been organized by the Dharma Center on the occasion of a visit by the Dalai Lama of Tibet, who is coming to conduct a Buddhist teaching for 7,000 people farther down the mountain. The elders will meet up here. It's planned that at the conclusion of their rituals, they will join the Dalai Lama and representatives of the world's major faiths as equals for a public interfaith ceremony. But their past history with some of the major faiths has not been so harmonious. Many of these traditions were repressed, and some came near to extinction. Now they all share what is perhaps the greatest threat to their survival, the rapid encroachment of the modern world. The gathering is the brainchild of the Dharma Center's spiritual director, Lama Deni Tundrup. During a visit to Ecuador, he got to know a young Shuar elder.
I had the opportunity to meet with Amazonians and Don Hilario, and he explained me about his people, his tradition, all the difficulty and suffering that been through. I told him I would do my best to help him and his people.
Lots of people, young people coming from our communities go to the cities. Some of them looking for a different type of education, some of them looking for different type of works that would allow them to live. Okay, if it continues like this, we're threatened, we're very hardly threatened. It makes our people forget this way of understanding life.
For some of the participants, it is the first time they have traveled outside their traditional lands and their equatorial climates.
What was it like the first time he got on an airplane? What was it like the first time he came to Europe when it was so cold here in America?
He's saying, for the thing which I have never seen, the plane passes quite in a hard place, which I could not imagine. It is only by the courage of man that you could even dare to go on it.
You speak English, and you're from Cuba. Nice to meet you.
When Karma Ling decided to hold this gathering, they put out the word through friends and friends of friends, asking who they should invite. Not an easy task, especially among traditions that mostly have no supreme leaders. Finally, they decided on 1 or 2 official delegates from each continent. But with entourages and people who decided that this was important enough to come on their own, the numbers began to swell, and so did the gifts, ritual implements, and vestments that they brought along.
Les hommes, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire? On est fatigués. On est resté debout ici.
Est-ce que vous avez des vêtements chauds?
Oui, il y en a.
Non, mais très chauds, je veux dire. Hi, my name is Sir. Sir.
Zert, Morgan Eagle Bear.
Where are you coming from?
United States.
Which part?
North Carolina. Apache.
You just arrived from Paris and Paris here?
New York, Paris, and here. Pretty long trip.
Within the Buddhist tradition, we have the notion of natural mind or primordial mind, a state of presence, ordinary mind, nowness. The great main tradition have developed a whole theology, a whole metaphysics, a whole philosophy. They've often also lost the directness or the simplicity of natural mind. And it is still present in ancient traditions.
She's from Buriache.
She's from Buriache. They are Buriache. Flagelos from Mexico.
Let the elders to be near the car of Dalai Lama and other people a little away. If you want to be on the side of the road, because two cars will come before the car of Dalai Lama.
American.
Oh, John American. Oh, yeah. Right. Indian, yes, that's
Excuse us, please. We are going this way. Thank you.
Mongol. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Africa.
Ah, yeah. Testere. Copy.
From Amazonia.
America. Oh. Hey.
I was just, I cannot I just feel like crying and I cannot.
Ça le voit. Ah d'accord, c'est de l'angoisse, c'est bien.
So the lunch, you mean the meal time?
has been a prophecy that the people would come together as brothers and sisters and to share with each other and be able to pray together as one to bring about peace, to bring about the changes, to prepare ourselves. My name is Morgan Eagle Bear, and I'm an Apache from the southwest part of the United States. And when I was quite young, my family recognized the fact that I had the ability of foreseeing the future and healing. And one of my aunties, who was a medicine woman herself, one day sat me down and told me the story about fire and how fire would talk to you, would share with you and help you. As I learned to work with her, I learned to understand and respect that within the fire is the elements of the past, the present, and the future.
Я из солнечной Бурятии.
I come from the land of sun, Buryatia.
Мой народ имеет больших своих шаманов.
And my people have many very powerful shamans.
И эти шаманы также много пережили.
Our shamans suffered very much.
И многие страдали, прошли ссылки, смерть.
Many were killed, many died, and many spent many years in prison.
У нас была линия передачи знаний.
But anyhow, the lineage of transmission of our knowledge is still there, still present.
Поэтому, когда я уже стала
After I became a shaman, people used to come to me and say, "You're not ashamed to be a shaman?" But our tradition is like our faith, our soul, and has always been here and must always be here.
Приехала с открытой душой.
I came here with my soul opened.
Чтоб был мир везде.
To find peace all over.
Hilario here from Ecuador will start first in his native language, Shuar, before speaking in Spanish. He has something to say. He wants to say it in Shuar, his native language from the jungle of Ecuador.
Un anaira mamatsatra huna yumi yerma. Tuk warawrat asar isha numdak enzuk. Numdak shuarak asar yamaito aka matatnya hui anik mahroma. Cuando yo era pequeño,
when I was a small boy,
recibí las instrucciones de mis abuelos a través de mi padre.
I received the instructions by my fathers and my grandparents.
Esta tradición de Ubishin.
It's a tradition called Ubishin.
Oui.
Oui.
Es como decir yo el todo.
It means something like myself, the whole of it.
No yo parcial.
It's not the ego, the partial me.
Todo.
It's the totality.
Donde no hay tiempo ni espacio.
Where there is no time or space.
Shin.
And Shin.
La gente alegre.
It means happy people.
Eso es Ubishin.
So that's Ubishin.
This way he will become also a leader, an instructor, a healer of his own people, a Yuwishin, a man of knowledge. But those that practice with knowledge and wisdom, I would say that I have only found around 10.
Recibimos este mismo sol.
We are receiving the same sun rays.
Tomamos esta misma agua.
We are drinking the very same water.
Y nacemos en el vientre de esta madre tierra.
And we come to lie in the womb of this Mother Earth.
Y todo lo que tenemos.
And so everything that we have
es natural.
Is natural.
The great mystery brings us together today. And it is important for us to remember our divine connection to all life. All life is so important because in our way we say what we call Ganyahanya, which is a thanksgiving prayer. And in this thanksgiving prayer, we honor every living thing.
The name that I have been given is Deyunyunyakwa Ujista. That is my real name. It is of the Mohawk language, and we are part of the Six Nations of the Iroquois Confederacy people, or people of the Longhouse. And that was the name that they were given, was people. And they chose to govern their people by peace. And that is why I come today, is to look for ways that we may come together in a more harmonious way for the coming phases. And that is the purpose and the mission of my traveling here today.
And so it is with this blessing that I come and I find that this is a miracle that has happened. And I am grateful and honored to be a part. I say Nyawa, thank you in my way. And Onege Wahi, peace be with you all.
We are the prophecy. We cannot give our back to the gifts the Great Spirit put on this earth. Sacred medicine. I am a carrier of this plant called peyote. I happily could give my life for this medicine, because this is the heart of the Great Spirit put on this earth for all of us.
My name is Aurelio Diaz Tepancali. First, I had to become medicine, so I can become a medicine person. One time, they tell me, my elders, we will show you what is to be not under the influence, under the power of medicine. Because only when you are power, unite with the medicine, then everything can be possible. You can see miracles happen, but you have to pull away all those limitations you had. You have to disappear this physical mind you had on your body. So like that, we're going to feed you this medicine. So they feed me this medicine until I was eating there so much medicine a whole night, a whole day, and I say to them, you know, I full. I cannot eat no more. I had eat so much that I here to my neck, you know, of medicine. And somebody at the end, they look at me and they say, how are you full? I say, well, up to here. Say, no, just you had this other space on top of your head. Did you see the fire? I say, yes. Did you think that you are the fire? Yes, I am the fire. I can see all of myself full in fire. Okay, did you are a peyote? Yes, I am a peyote. They just could say it and I could see it. So, well, we'll give you all of the instructions. And all of them talk to me at the same time. And I understand everybody at the same time. 7 people, 7 elders. They was telling me everything that I need to know. And I was listening to all of them at the same time, very clearly. Then they didn't ask me, they just was looking at me and they say, I think I could never could be full of this medicine. You say? Yes, I say that. And then they say, you are full now. You are okay. You are the medicine. And that's how I received a blessing to do this.
Наша группа приехала в составе 3 человек
из Республики Тува, Центр Азии, город Кызыл, столица Республики Тува.
Our group came from the center of the Asia, the Republic of Tuva.
Я наследственный шаман.
My father was a shaman, my grandfather was a shaman too. So it's a gift of my ancestors.
Мой дедушка, когда я родился,
When I was born, it was in March 1947, and it took place on the big mountain. And my grandfather was near me, and he put his hand on my head, and so you can see the marks of his fingers there.
После 1920 года по партийной идеологии мы очень много потеряли про шаманизм.
At the time of the socialist ideology, we lost very many things from shamanism because shamanic people were persecuted.
Tengo un título de Tlacaelel.
My title is Tlacaelel.
Cuando llegaron los europeos.
When the Europeans arrived,
hace un poquito más de 500 años.
A little more than 500 years ago.
La evolución que estaban logrando nuestros pueblos autóctonos.
The evolution that our self-governing people were carrying out
se detuvo.
Was stopped.
Fueron muy crueles con nuestros antepasados.
They were very cruel with our forefathers.
Para imponernos su religión.
They imposed upon us their religion.
Y su religión nos enseñaba
and the religion that they taught us
que todo lo que había sido nuestro
was that all that had been ours
era de cosas de salvajes,
were things that belonged to savages,
de ignorantes,
and ignorance,
y que adorábamos al demonio,
and that we worshipped the devil,
y que ellos nos llevaban su religión,
and that they brought us their religion,
y que nos iba a salvar,
and they were going to save us.
Pero para eso tenemos que ser buenos cristianos.
And that for this we must be good Christians.
Tenemos que ser mansos.
We
obedientes.
Must be obedient.
Humildes.
Humble.
Y aceptar
and accept
la superioridad
the superiority
de nuestros amos.
Of our leaders.
Pero siempre hubo resistencias.
But there was always resistance.
We are still struggling for our land to get back. The government's treating us like a dog. Real hard. Government want to bring us back. Follow them. Yeah, follow them, but we don't want that law. We want to stay on law.
Dabo, Huno, Huna.
I am Dabo, Huno, Huna. I am the supreme chief of Vodou. The Vodou in all Benin and in all the world. If there is a creation of the earth, Vodou has been created at that moment. We have, with all this tradition, the peace with the earth and with the people, but after they have become different religion, and they say bad thing about it. Vodou has always done good, and it's for tradition, all the people who ask for Vodou has always prayed Vodou, and it has always given them satisfaction.
So I have had the privilege of choosing the African delegations, and I just want to tell you why I chose the Rendile and the Benin. The Rendile, because all the neighbors and the Horn of Africa say that they have received the staff of God.
The Rendali tribe are nomads from the Horn of Africa. Lately, during the droughts, they've been having trouble with some of their agrarian neighbors, and a few of their people have been murdered. It's been a profoundly disturbing time.
And when she came to us, she came to us and told us that all the people of the world are meeting. And when they are meeting to pray for peace of the world. So might be it's a new plan that God has for all of us, for the whole world. So it might be a new start for us, I decided.
Back home in Seattle, Washington, I have about 30 prayer circles that are praying for all of us to come together, to be as one, because we have been praying for peace for many years. And this is like a dream come true to be able to be here. I have learned many of the indigenous ways, and our similarities are more than our differences. So I encourage our people to dwell on our similarities so that we can make this world a better place for our people. And by our people, I don't mean just Tlingit. I mean all of mankind.
The gathering is taking place on a flat field where once stood a Christian chapel. Until the Dharma Center purchased the location, it was a Carthusian monastery for hundreds of years. Many centuries before that, according to local legend, it was an ancient Celtic ritual site. The Dalai Lama has been asked to begin the rituals with a Tibetan ceremony of purification. Underneath the hearth, where the ritual fires will burn, he places a treasure vase, a ritual object that is supposed to restore vitality to the elements that have been misused.
And when we bless the new site, it is a foundation whereby it's blessed by elders with milk. So we use milk so as to bless everywhere and to purify everything. The elders will get up First of all, they will go around the house, one at this side and the other one at this side, outside. They all meet and cross one another, come inside the house, then go around the house, blessing it till the end. And with that, they are still continuing praying by themselves while they are walking, pouring milk. And so, by that time, the house and the foundation is purified. And to us saying Amin, Amin, we are saying, God accept our prayers. Amen. 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 There we have droughts, of which we can even go on with this drought for 1.5 years or 20 months. And also we have some few fights from our neighboring tribes. And the way I usually hear, there is no person in this world who has no problem or who has total peace in himself. And to my neighboring tribes and where I am, I know of how people are in troubles and there's no peace everywhere. And I know the goodness of peace. And peace is always the best thing for everything. The prayer was a prayer of peace of the whole world, whereby he was praying that God should give us peace, should give us harmony, patience, so that we should respect one another, and we should live according to how or the way God wants us to live. Thanks.
Now he asked her to bring different food that we will give to masters of these places. The food that we put in the fire, everybody of you should think that it's a very big food, so it is so big as the mountains around us. So we give so much food to the master of this place. This plant that he put in the water with the milk, it's called artish. It is purifying plant. The smoke of this plant will purify all of us and this place. His head will link shaman with the sky. So when he put it on, he links with the sky. This is the main instrument of shaman. It's called orba. The drum is called tungur. Now he is calling for spirits of the mountain chartreuse, Tibetan Alps, and for the spirits of this river and the spirit of Karma Ling. Now he will sing a ritual song about this fire, because the light of this fire will protect all of us. In 1944, our republic come into the Soviet Union. The most intimate customs and ritual of the people were forbidden in our country. So my grandfather left a message to my parents. When your child will be 9 years old, he will see dreams. And really, I saw dreams, and I couldn't tell them to anybody because the time was like that. Then I had an accident. I had a very difficult illness. It was like a preparation for what I am doing now. So the earth will be white as a milk here. And this place will give knowledge to people, will give forces.
I want to thank you people for being here today. To bring together indigenous ways, the old ways. It's an honor to be here, to speak with you. And today we're going to do a ceremony that Grandma Sarah and Grandma Anahea are going to do a blessing, bless the home here. A blessing for all of you to take back. As we saw today in our ceremonies, they're all very much the same. Our brother here from Siberia wears a headdress, same as our people do. Uses a drum, as our people do. Our brother from Kenya uses a staff, as we do. And I see too, by some of the people, that even though we're shamans, teachers, we're also warriors in protecting these ways. Keeping these traditions alive is not easy. I want to ask special blessing when the grandmother's here. Start this so that there's a blessing to protect you in the work that's ahead of you, because the work's going to be hard. Because now the world's awakening. Wherever we go, the world's now awakening. They're coming back to their old ways. They want to come back here. Some ways, they're scared to come to us. So sometimes, just like this delegation, we're going to have to travel so that the people can see, so they quit being scared of us. Too long now, the governments, other people have made them afraid of shamans, saying we're witches, that we're evil people. But they don't understand that we're not, that we just know how to live in balance with the universe. And Grandma Sarah and Grandma Anahea, they're going to work with sweetgrass, purify the air, purify, cleanse.
This is a cleansing and a purification, and we always use the sweetgrass, cedar, sage, or tobacco when we give thanks, and we cleanse and we purify. And so it is as simple as that. My sister Anna will do the outer circle as I will do the inner circle. I believe I entered into this earth walk as a dreamer, and that is really what I would like to say my occupation is. I believe that the dream is our sacred connection to the upper spiritual realm that only knows perfection. And the healing comes at the nighttime and the dream time. But it is most important, I believe, for the people today to follow the guidance of their hearts. And that intuitiveness, the tremendous gift of intuitiveness that lies within every individual now, to help us get back onto the pathway of peace and goodwill towards one another.
Unity is the key thing, because it is something that all people belong to. As you saw in the ceremony today, it's not just 2 or 3 people standing in the front doing everything. It's a participation. Everyone participates. So the spirituality in the Native American way is that it involves families, that it involves everyone, so that all participate in praying to Great Spirit, walking with Great Spirit, but above all, it's in the simplicity of it. Take from us this pain. Give us this joy, happiness, and peace. A blessing on the Dalai Lama. Home, Takwasi.
There is one little individual who has touched my heart. Right from the littlest one until this one. Come here, like that. So, come. This one is my grandchild. This is who we work for. It's for the coming faces, and he's coming faces as well. And I would like to give you this. Can you take this one?
We have not one in it?
No.
All right, then I
It's a celebration ceremony. We're celebrating here that we are all together. Our technology is very simple. We talk of the power that is on the water, the power that is on the air, the power that is on this earth, on this sun, fire. We all drink the same water, so we all are water. We all drink and breathe the same air. It's our brother, you see. And our water is our sister, and the fire is our father, and the earth is our mother. So we have a family, the work and unity for all of us, and that's a good teaching. My brother want to bless when the plants of the Amazons, this place and all of you. So he want to put some of this essence or this plants, and he is going to blow it. This is very, very sacred.
Voy a soplar en 4 direcciones estas esencias de plantas.
I'm going to
Plantas aromáticas.
4 directions, this essence of these plants, these aromatic plants.
De alguna forma los espíritus de allá también.
Somehow the spirits from there coming here.
Los espíritus no tienen lugar ni tiempo,
The spirits don't have a own place or time,
pero están nomás ahí,
but they are everywhere.
como están en todos los lugares.
They are in every single place.
Ese es el conocimiento
This is the
de toda
knowledge
nuestra gente.
of all our people.
Por eso nosotros siempre hemos tratado.
Or we have always tried to live in harmony with everything that belongs to nature. We could say that that's our cosmic vision of life existence. With this type of vision, we have the possibility of exerting direct medicine with our plants, with our sacred plants. We use sacred, powerful power plants. This alliance is directly with all sort of beings.
Davey, this way. Jeez.
Here are representatives of, you could say, primordial tradition, ancient tradition of the 5 continents. We invited all of them through friends of friends of friends. They answered this invitation, and in the spirit you suggested initially, would Isalinas say a few words of introduction?
가서 주기 자세히 뭔가를 두다 배워서 가보죠. 수시쇼인. See, I think their whole is a concept or attitude towards nature is very much alive or very much strong. Unlike modern society, sometimes I think we have wrong conception. We human beings can control nature. I think that's the extreme. I think their message is taking care about earth, taking care about the environment, these things. I think it's a very good thing. We can learn from their tradition.
We came here.
Узнавали.
We walked by feet from Karma Ling to the village to know all local masters. We found the place where the all spirits, master spirits meetings. And the master spirits, they accepted our praying. At home he will be pray, taking these stones, and they remember this place, the masters of this region. Everything connected.
bark of a holy tree. I can bring out this ritual to invoke happiness.
Наш народ живет на берегу Байкала.
Our people live on the shore of Lake Baikal.
И сохранил свои древние традиции.
He maintains our ancient traditions.
Несмотря на все лишения, на все гонения.
Even though we were persecuted.
We were killed, we were put in prison, and we didn't have the possibility to live our own life. This was a really big tragedy for our people. Many shamans during the Soviet period, they die in prison.
Now I will pray so that we can all live in peace. Now I have to start the ritual because the gods are waiting. Our shamans think that the spirits receive through the smell. Everything that's nice for the senses we offer.
And when I was 24 years old, they told me that I would become a big shaman. And my mother, she had a lot of fear at the time. And trying to find a way to close this road and have this gift leave me. But then my mother, she suffered a lot for what she did. She got paralyzed. And I heard the voice of God telling me that, if you don't accept your gift, a big truck is going to pass over you. At that point I understood that I had to choose life or death.
Did you hear how the fire speaks?
Дух огня очень довольный.
The spirit of the fire is very happy.
Нам такие знаки подает.
These are good signs.
And the teaching to us as a shaman, they come through dreams. So the gods, they always teach me through the dreams when is to be the ritual, how has to be done, which products we have to offer, what I have to pray.
These pictures are my visions. These are the gods of my clan.
На синих конях.
And they move on blue horses.
Там, где летают орлы.
This is where the eagles fly.
Это на прародине.
These are drawings that came from very, very ancient civilizations.
Representatives of the major faiths have been invited to attend the rituals. A few drop in briefly, but some have decided to stay throughout and wish to present their own views on the relative merits of the different religions.
This is Hindu, this is Christian, this is Buddhist, this is Muslim, this is so and etc. So many in this world. But all the religions are depending upon the hand. And this is the main and the origin, and this is the primordial. When all the religions, if we really want the unification, then what we have to search? Yoga means the unification. And this is the diversity. But here, we have come here to know how we can get the unification. Everybody is respected, but among the total humanity of this art, what is the original and the true?
You seem to privilege the arm. by saying that the fingers will have to disappear in favor of the arm. But surely the arm needs the fingers, and the fingers need the arm.
It is the intention of the humanity to go to his destination as early as possible. It is the inherent idea of that all humanity. But they have not got this thing. That's why they have got no plane-like service. That's why they are bound to go by slow process. I have not denied this rituals, ceremonies. I have not denied. But I am telling you, my idea is that it is the slow process.
Perhaps the oldest tradition present is that of the Aborigines of Australia. Intimately connected to land, it uses the language of symbols to describe the dream time of prehistory. It is a tradition that is difficult to describe in words.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dick. Neckline na Japananga.
Mon nom est Dick et le reste je vous ai laissé l'écouter.
And what we're going to do is look at some painting with Dick and some other Aboriginal friends of his. I will, on the notice board, explain the symbols. The paintings are maps of land with sacred sites, and the symbols are concentric circles. At the site there is an ancestor, and they are very powerful. The U shape is the ancestor. The wavy lines is the journey taken by the ancestor in the dream time. The dream time is Aboriginal prehistory, creation myths. The ancestors are animals, birds, elements. Because it's a map, they are shown with their tracks. Bird, kangaroo, possum, and so on. In ceremonies, the people sing to the ancestors songs taught by the ancestors. It's called the law.
Well, land is important for people. People that live on the land. Grow the children up in own land. We're not the cattle to move out around everywhere. We're in our own land to tell the dreaming. That's your dreaming. Or that's your grandpa's dreaming. All that things. Aboriginal people need their land. White people, they just chow the book for little kids and teach them.
Okay, where I put it out there?
Yeah, but anyway. These lines here. See all these lines? These cross mark here, little ones.
These little marks
represent cloud.
Represent clouds.
Represent des nuages.
Long ones here is raining. That's like represent lands. That's a dreaming from before we ever born.
It's a dreaming, it's not dreams, it's the dreaming from before we're born. Are there any songs for that? Do you know them?
We win back Kalaja, Kalaja, Murangana, Wandika, win back Kalaja, Murangana. Anakiri to chalpi panai pa malavera vera de panai pa manakiri to chalpi pana alve malavera vera de panai pa manakiri to chalpi panai. This is onion streaming in a tunnel. They're traveling underground tunnels.
When we unrolled this painting in Paris, there was an ant on it. When we unrolled it at Karma Ling, the ant was still there.
Wanam balumba luna, here wanam balumba luna. Yawana Pangaya, Lambana, Lanjarina, Yawana Bangaya, Lambana, Lanjarina, Yawana Balumba Luna, Yawana Balumba Luna, Yawana Bangaya, Lambana, Lanjarina.
So tonight we are doing a ritual. It's a ritual of offering for that every being will be satisfied and happy.
In Tibetan Buddhism, the chöd ritual is performed in cemeteries, carnal grounds where corpses lay out in the open, as a way to cut off the selfishness of the ego by offering one's body to demons.
This is a dedication, a total dedication of oneself in a spirit of compassion. So we invoke our spirits, we invite them, then the actual offering is being presented.
In our Western world, we've come to live in a purely conceptual and artificial world. The further you go into concept, the more you lose the direct experience of natural mind and very simply nature. And it brings a sense of what is Holiness called universal responsibility, and which is also a responsibility towards the environment. And this interdependence of habitat and environment is at the center of the ancient tradition.
Hermanas y hermanos,
Brothers and sisters,
es nuestra obligación
it is our obligation
conservar nuestras tradiciones.
to preserve our traditions.
Tenemos una institución
We have an institution
que tienen todos los pueblos antiguos del planeta.
which was held by all the peoples of the planet.
Y es la pipa sagrada.
This is the sacred pipe.
Lo encontramos en todo el mundo.
And we have found them throughout the world.
Es nuestra fuerza.
Is our strength.
Ella tiene el espíritu de nuestros antepasados.
She carries the spirit of our forefathers.
Y es ahora nuestro espíritu, nuestra fuerza que vamos a compartir con ustedes.
And now it is our strength which we are going to share with you, our spirit which we are going to share with you. Whoa. Oh. We are going to honor our common ancestors of the four colors of the people.
Todos sabemos que hay 4 colores de gente.
We all know that there are 4 colors of people.
Los amarillos,
The yellows,
los jaunes, los negros,
the blacks,
les noirs, los rojos,
the reds,
les rouges, los blancos,
the whites,
les blancs. Pero una sola raza.
but one race only,
Mais seulement une race. La raza humana.
the human race.
Llegó el momento en que los indígenas tenemos que hablar.
The moment has come for indigenous people to speak,
Y ahora estamos hablando.
and now we are speaking.
A participar
To
en
participate
este congreso,
in this Congress,
que es un gran esfuerzo para unificar
which is a great force of bringing together to
las
unify
tradiciones de nuestro planeta.
the traditions of our planet.
Y ha sido algo hermoso
This has been something beautiful
constatar que exactamente
to take account that exactly
los mismos símbolos sagrados
the same sacred
que
symbols
tenemos los indígenas de México y de América
that we indigenous people of Mexico and America have,
los tienen en Siberia,
they have in Siberia,
los tienen en África,
they have in
los
Africa,
tienen en Europa,
they have in Europe,
los tienen en todo el mundo.
and they have throughout the world,
Que las esperanzas de todos los pueblos
and that the hopes of all peoples
están presentes en este congreso.
are present here in this Congress.
Un origen común,
A common origin,
una casa común,
a common house,
que es nuestro planeta,
which is our planet,
un destino común.
and a common destiny,
Y que siendo todos hermanos
and that all of us being
de
brothers
todo lo que existe,
of all that exists,
porque fuimos creados por un solo creador,
because we were created by one single creator,
no Dios,
not a God,
un creador,
a creator,
que le llamamos Teo,
which we call Deot,
el gran espíritu,
the great spirit,
el gran abuelo,
the great grandfather,
el gran misterio.
the great mystery.
A él,
Him,
Él nos va a unir.
he will unite us.
Я желаю всем, тот, кто это тапа курил, не забывали, мы сами друг друга вот здесь хранили.
And he wish for all people who smoke today the pipe, tobacco, safe in their huts this day.
И всем вам спасибо. Желаю хорошего.
And thanks you very much, all of you.
Even the tobacco we have put into the fire. It is also a tradition that we put tobacco into the fire. Everything that we are seeing in different traditions, different customs, they are all the same, although we are making it in different ways.
We stand as a people to pray to our Father.
Nous prions à notre grand-père, notre père,
And to walk gently on our mother.
et nous marchons sur notre mère
And allow her, him, each of us, the respect that Takashala intended for us as humans.
Et que les choses qui sont
God.
Que God, que Dieu.
Oh,
Oh.
Avoir pu échanger et partager
To have been able to share
de cœur à cœur.
heart to heart.
Compartiendo corazón a corazón.
The boundaries of an ocean, the boundaries of language, the boundaries of color, they ended. Everybody here was singing. We were all one.
Ici, on chantait.
And now it's time that we stay one. So I offer this little prayer to the Great Spirit. May we never forget this day or time. As we tell our children and grandchildren, one day in our lives we were all one. You as our children and grandchildren need to find that day too, where there is no color, no boundaries, no language differences, and that peace and love will prevail, and that we can all pray to God together. We thank you, Great Spirit. Bless all of us and the people and the land that has taken care of us now.
Throughout the week, Dagbo Huno Huna, the supreme leader of the voodoo religion in Benin and the rest of the world, has been a little more remote than the other elders. It's been explained that this physical distancing is because of his royal position. Now the final ceremony of the week is packed with interested onlookers.
Il y a un prêtre pour célébrer le rituel.
We are very honored today to have the Dagabo with us, who is the supreme chief of the Vodun cult in Benin first, in the diaspora, where it has been taken when the slaves were taken. You find it in Brazil, in Cuba, in all the diaspora. Not only does he represent that, but he represents the most fundamental cult and most ancient cult of Africa, of the whole continent. The Dagbo means the most important person of ceremonies, but Huno is the one that the owner of the ocean. And so before he starts the rituals, he goes to the ocean.
I was working as a man in the cemetery, and I was working with on the grave as a worker, and I was not so young. It is the oracle, the design, the one who will be chosen to be the chief. It's not given to anyone to be the Uno. And when you are designed by the oracle that we call the Fa, at that moment you proclaim yourself Uno to direct the voodoo of the entire world.
No sisi nkume no sisi di kodu boya o mi sisi niyo anatene no tole do.
Before I begin this ritual, I call all the ancestors, the one I know and the one I do not know. We have seen many rituals here, and we have seen that they are all the same. That means for us, voodoo is everywhere. It's in the sky, in the water, in the earth.
When I look at you, I see everybody black. I see everybody white. I see everybody yellow. I see everybody red. So let us join in and be merry and dance and sing together.
So it happens sometimes that in his sleep he has a dream, and following what the dream is telling him, he's just doing benediction because it has been asked in his dream. This benediction is not just for him, and it's for the people in front of him, the group of the family, and all the people in the world. It's a real benediction for the world.
He says that since he arrived, he was very serious. But today you see him dancing and laughing because he feels that the unity of us all is real and present, and that is what we need and are seeking. Just a bit. Just a little. That is our traditional drink that we have brought from Benin. Palm wine, to which we add a few ingredients.
The ceremonies completed. Today the elders will join the Dalai Lama and representatives of the major faiths for an interfaith celebration before 7,000 people.
Hello. Hello.
Here are all the member delegation. First are the all the main religion represented in France and Europe, and some delegates of the ancient tradition you met the other day.
Yes.
So we invited them in the inspiration of your coming.
那长老都是，大家的去路蒙古籍，明天都是这样的小高中。但这个是你们刚上去，还是怕说的机器的，你就我之前的，这个当然是你们刚上要的。
Donc là, il manque personne, et là nous on va descendre.
Well, my name is Marco Diani, and I am here to represent the Jewish community of Savoy and also the Jewish community of France. One of the things, one of the main ingredients, one of the main elements of every faith and religion is the extraordinary, something which is close to a miracle or a miraculous event, but an event that creates something that didn't exist until now. So this event could be the starting point of this new creation. not much more is left to be done at the level of the great declarations, the level of the signing papers in common. What is left to be done is to do things together, not only for formal occasions or in a diplomatic way, but in a way that will be also the way of study, of listening and witnessing.
When we talk in the term of humanity, we need pluralism. At the same time, in individual case, now for example, my own case, I'm Buddhist. So to me, Buddhism is best. At the same time, that does not mean Buddhism is best for all. No. So for my own practice, individual cases, one truth, Buddhist truth. One religion, okay. But this does not mean, you see, that Buddhism is best for everyone. So therefore, for humanity, pluralism.
Korat Mahabali Dalai Lama ichene beita waqsiche waqtuse yedasen himi qabsaman tortene deka.
We have got this information while we are in Kenya, and we were told that His Holiness Dalai Lama is calling the whole world together to have a peace prayer or peace meeting.
The strength and the force, the moral figure of the Dalai Lama, which has been recognized throughout the world and throughout faith, it seems to me that he's been one of the major responsible for having changed the way in which we deal now with the relation between or among faiths, one of the major responsible for giving voice to groups, traditions that did not have voice or representation.
Habíamos desaparecido los indios.
People thought that we Indians have disappeared.
Que ya todos éramos mezclados, éramos mestizos.
And that all of us had become mixed bloods or mestizos.
Y que todos éramos ya cristianos.
And that all of us were already Christians.
Nos ha costado sudor.
It has cost us sweat.
Lágrimas.
Tears.
Sacrificio.
Sacrifice.
Pero aquí estamos.
But we are here.
Vivos.
Alive.
Nos invitamos a soñar.
But we invite you to dream.
A soñar.
To dream.
Que encontramos la solución de los problemas del mundo.
That we may find a solution to the problems of the world.
A soñar.
To dream.
Que volveremos a ver la conciencia del hombre cósmico.
To once again awaken the consciousness of the cosmic
Otra vez
man.
nos consideraremos que somos hermanos.
To consider that we are all brothers.
Con todos los animales y con todas las cosas que existen.
And brothers of all the animals and all things that exist.
Porque somos hijos del mismo creador.
And that we are sons of the daughters of the same creator.
El gran espíritu.
The great spirit.
Teo.
Teo.
El gran misterio.
The great mystery.
Ometeo.
Ometeo.
Some of the traditions that were represented around the Dalai Lama were a tradition of oppressed history, of oppressed people, of oppressed religions. The word should be of religion that have been almost eliminated from history. So there was also an element not also of witnessing, but of compensation, of paying back for as much as it is possible, of starting to settle accounts. most of these traditions are always underrepresented. A few words, and then next to the big ones. It doesn't seem to work anymore.
Many people want to hear what our people have lived by and what they have put into practice in their earth walk. And so at the present time, within the last 15, 20 years, tremendous awareness has developed among many people. And so there are many gatherings now where the individuals are taken who understand the traditional ways and asked to share that with others, because we were never ever asked before.
It was also a very interesting way of learning what not to do anymore, and maybe pointing to new ways to be taken, new roads to be taken in dealing with relationship, the complex question of relationship between traditions and relationship between religions. No one was prepared to see some of the rituals of other traditions and faiths. And so the initial reaction could have been, and was in some cases, a reaction of surprise, even of shock. But then, what was interesting was that in the long term, in the long run, everyone could see that there were things in common, that there were elements that were common to all of this ritual. Ritual is this way of discovering that through differences, we do respect the same elements. And in many ways, we do pay homage to these elements, to these divinities, to our faith, in ways that are actually at heart much more similar, almost identical throughout the world.
엔진에 나라조다 나회 멤버세야 세야디 나 아주 참을러기 가서 그게 뉴스로 배지유인데 비셔야디샤 자 동시에는 나라조 들때 죽둠데 엔 참을러 그게 말미 퓨니다 말미 나회.
In Judeo-Christianism, we tend to place man at the center of the universe, and man as having power over the environment. Ancient tradition consider Earth as our mother, and you wouldn't do to the Earth something you wouldn't do to your mother. So there's a respect. It's more than a respect. It's a real awareness of our Earth environment as being our mother, where we come from and where we'll go. And this awareness of Mother Earth, I think, is also something we could learn again from them. Thank you for yesterday. It went, from all what I heard from you, very well. If some already expressed the wish to see other gatherings occur, and in different places, different continent or intercontinental, many possibilities. And do we wish to do something together? And if yes, what and how? Please.
Esta ha sido una gran oportunidad para conocernos.
This has been a great opportunity to come to know one another. The first thing that we must do
Es
is
formar una organización nueva
decide to form a new organization
de líderes espirituales de las tradiciones indígenas del mundo.
of spiritual leaders of the indigenous traditions of the world.
Existen otras organizaciones,
Other organizations already
como el
exist,
Consejo Mundial de Iglesias,
like the World Council of Churches,
donde no podemos estar nosotros.
where we are not able to participate.
Para ser aceptados tenemos que convertirnos en cristianos.
To be accepted by them, we must become Christians.
No se nos acepta a nosotros
They do not accept us
como grupos religiosos
as religious groups
o espirituales.
or as spiritual people.
Aquí incluso
Including here,
hemos estado separados.
we have been separated.
Los indígenas solos estuvimos trabajando.
We indigenous people together were working alone.
Las religiones grandes
The larger religions
estuvieron trabajando aparte.
were working separately.
Eso nos está enseñando algo.
This is teaching us something,
No somos tan importantes para ellos.
that we are not so important for them.
Necesitamos unirnos.
We need to unite.
Sugiero una organización,
I suggest an organization
llámese confederación
or a confederation,
o la forma de los abuelos como un consejo
or in the form of the ancient ones, a council
de religiones tradicionales
of traditional religions
indígenas del mundo.
from indigenous people of the world.
Gracias.
Thank you.
To organize this gathering, we used an association. We gave a name to this association, United Tradition, which is a nice name. And one thing that seems important is that including indigenous or primordial traditions, also to work with all traditions. And as you said, not to separate.
If we really are this organization that we say that we have here, but if it's only an organization that somebody made it for us, for the thing that they have just a name in there, it sounds beautiful, unit of all traditions, sounds beautiful, but it is real. I think we are a family. We have been censored and persecuted for all of these years. I want to live my life for the unity of our people.
We are a part of the fulfillment of prophecies that have come through oral teachings of the people who accepted great peace. And it is beautiful that we see this unity and the harmony, that we all gathered on one stage together to embrace each other. It is a wonderful opportunity to meet with the 5-continent people. In our tradition, if we take one arrow and it is alone, we must take the 5 arrows and tie them together so that we will be strong and no one can break the arrows. when they are tied together. That is the symbol and the prophecies of the people on Turtle Island. We feel the crying of the people to connect to all life again, to have the richness and the fullness in our hearts that we have been gifted with, all the natural gifts. It is time now. The past has brought us to this moment in time.
As an elder brother, the major religions should play as the role of elder brother. And they will try to set the minor religions and not to proselytism. First item is not to proselytism. Stop the proselytism from the world. This will be the first item.
You said that the traditional religions would be the younger brother and the major religions elder.
Those who are minor religions, they will be the younger brothers.
The ones of the book are the younger brothers who have integrated a lot of the traditional religions. Excuse me.
I guess you have misconstrued what he has just now delivered.
I'm just saying that the traditional religions pre-existed, the ones of the book, the major ones now.
There is a say in our country that when we are meeting together, we have to reach an agreement. We are not here to divide.
The voodoo delegation, we didn't ask that there should be a voodoo inside of Buddhism, and we don't, and vice versa. We feel that the essential thing is to retain the integrity of our own traditions, and also to respect the others, but not to sort of mix them all together. We all know that our own religion is the best religion and the only religion. He said, this is what I knew about voodoo before I came here. But he said, when I arrived here, I realized that things maybe are slightly different. And that we have to add some water to our wine.
Y las palabras de los ancianos,
and the words of the elders who are here present,
los que tienen experiencia,
those who have experience
de toda su vida,
of all their life,
dice,
says,
lo tenemos que hacer.
What we must do.
Y sabemos,
and we know,
que quizás nosotros no lo vamos a ver,
that maybe we will not see this ourselves,
sino son los líderes jóvenes.
But maybe with the young leaders,
los que ahorita están impacientes por imponer de alguna forma,
those who are impatient now to impose some form.
Nuestra obligación ahora,
our obligation now,
es sentar las bases,
is to build the base
de una organización,
of an organization,
que con el tiempo,
that with time,
ellos van a afinar,
they will finish,
ellos van a dar las bases firmes.
They will give the firm basis. And as my shaman brother said,
aquí nació algo.
Something was born here.
Vamos a darle vida.
We must give it life.
Ometeo.
Ometeo.
That's it.
But 2 and 1.
2 we're going to do. So we've already started with 2, see? Okay.
Random.
Circle.
A circle. Yeah, Pebble.
What that fire taught me, that my aunt taught me a long time ago, that I would meet the people that would help me, to inspire me, to move along in life and trying to do the best I can to help people, that it would happen. And it's made a dream come true for me, and I've met so many other wonderful people here. And they're from all over, and yet they all have the same goal. They want peace. They want to live in balance with Mother Nature. They want to raise their children. They don't have an understanding of what politics really is or the money world is. They just want the simplicity of living in balance with nature and taking care of their families. And it's such a beautiful thing that's happened with the Dalai Lama being here and sharing and consecrating some land so that the earth gets back into balance. To me, that's one of the most powerful things that I could have ever possibly experienced.